Yo, what's up, everyone? It's your boy Nando, part of Bells and Whistle Sport. You're about to watch an exclusive interview or podcast from one of the guys or yours truly. But first things first, this video is in association of IQ Boxing and Safer Training Solution and also Dirty South Boxing. If you want to look and feel like a champion, head over to dirtysouthboxing.co.uk for the best boxing wear and boxing equipment. Also, use our promo code BMW20 for 20% off your order. Enjoy the show.
Do you hear me?
Hi, Katharina.
How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm fine. Good.
I want to thank you for taking time to speak to us today.
No, thank you for inviting me.
And we're big fans of yours, so we were looking forward to this interview. How's training going?
Very good. It's a hard week. This week is hard, and the next one will also be quite hard. But I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I wanna talk to you obviously about your career and this up and coming fight, this big opportunity you have on the 14th of November. You used to be a kickboxer. What I want to know is, you did, I think, 18 years of kickboxing. Was it up until you was 18 years old?
No, I started when I was 18 years old.
Okay.
And I did kickboxing until 2012, more or less. So from 2007 to 2012, more or less.
And then you made your boxing debut in 2016. What made you transition? Yeah, you're professional. What made you transition from kickboxing to boxing?
Well, already as a kickboxer, I used my punches more than the kicks, so I felt more comfortable with my boxing actually. So that's one of the reasons, and also because I got to know my current boxing coach, and I got a really good connection with him, and I really felt that I was improving with him, and you know. And yeah, that was one of the other reasons, because I found I found a very good way of working with him, and I felt really comfortable, and I felt that together we could manage to develop my boxing, and that I could become a better athlete with him. So that yeah.
So you made your debut in 2016 in Spain. You got your first win, unanimous decision. How did it feel? How did you feel making your pro debut as a boxer compared to when you were kickboxing before?
It felt very good. I had been 2 years trying to convince my coach to do the transition to the pros, because I hardly got amateur fights, because I'm Norwegian. I have a Norwegian passport, but I live in Spain. So that made it a little bit more complicated, because I was not able to be part of the Spanish national team. And if I wanted to be part of the Norwegian national team, obviously I would have to move to Norway, which was not on my wish list. So from 2012 to 2016, I only did 8 amateur fights. So of course, you know, it's hard to keep your motivation up when you only get that few fights. So knowing that I had the kickboxing experience behind, and I actually did most of my fights in professional in kickboxing, I felt that I could be able to develop much better in the professional game in boxing. But of course, yeah, for my coach, it was, he wanted me to have more experience, of course. So it took me like 2 years to convince him. And so yeah, when I did my debut as a professional, it was a great feeling. I was a bit nervous. I think the first fight is the only fight in all my fights that I've actually been a little bit nervous. But it was a great feeling.
And he made the right choice at the end.
Yeah. Yes.
In such a short period of time, in your 7th fight, you made your debut in your native country in Norway. Not only did you do that, you won the European super featherweight title. So it was a win-win. How amazing was that feeling?
I think it's one of the most special fights I have had until the moment. Of course, after that fight, I have won more important fights, but that one was like the most special one because it was the first time I actually won a title in my home country with all my people. It was a really, really nice event. And and yeah, I felt really good in the fight. And it was like a fight where I think I could prove to the people that I had something to show, something to do in the professional in the professional sport. Yeah.
Amazing. Not only that, you then went on to win the WBC International Lightweight title and then the European Lightweight title. What I want to know is what weight class do you feel more comfortable in? Is it lightweight or super featherweight?
Well, it's easier for me to reach the lightweight, so in that sense it's more comfortable for me. I do have to suffer a bit more to make weight in the super featherweight division, but I do know how to make the weight, and when I make it, I feel extremely strong the day after, recovering good and all that. So the difference is maybe that I feel a physical huge difference when I actually make the super featherweight.
Amazing. You achieved so much in such little time. You are an inspiration to a lot of female boxers out there. And then what I want to know is you then went on your 13th fight, I believe it was. You went and won the I believe it was the WBC interim super featherweight title.
That's right. Yeah.
When did it hit you after the fight, or maybe straight away after the fight, that it's like, oh my God, I'm gonna get a world title fight now?
After the interim fight, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first thing I thought about. Yeah. So actually, after winning the world interim title, I was already thinking about facing. In that moment when I won that title, it was still Eva Wallström that had the title. But it was already scheduled that she was going to meet Terri Harper the 7th of February, I think it was, or 8th of February. Yeah. So I already had in mind that, okay, I want to meet the winner of that fight. And then actually I had a quite nice contact with Eva Wallström. So in the end, I went to Finland to help her with the sparring. And we both spoke about it, and it was like, okay, if we really have to meet, well, then we will just meet. But the experience will just be great for both of us. And I'm really glad I did it, because I learned a lot from her. She's a great athlete, a great person, a great champion. And it was like 2 very intense weeks that I spent with her. So I've already been involved in a camp that was to beat Harper. So yeah, in the end she didn't get the win, and then I was thinking about facing Terri Harper ever since.
So now, obviously, on the 14th of November, a historic night for women's boxing. You're going to face Terri Harper for the WBC and the IBF super featherweight title. What I want to know is, how did you hear the news about this fight, and straight away, what was your reaction?
Well, we were very close to sign the fight much before. I think it was already in March. We were really close to sign the fight for April, but then in the last moment, I think it was Sky Sports that wanted her to face another British opponent.
Natasha Jonas.
It chose Natasha Jonas in the end. So for me, it was like, oh, now I have to wait again. And then when I saw the draw, I thought, now I will have to wait again. But well, in the end, WBC ordered the fight, luckily, and I was very happy about that. But it was actually a surprise. I didn't expect it. I thought it was more likable to see a rematch between Harper and Natasha Jonas. So when I was told about it, I was very, very happy. But at the same time, it felt very natural, if you know what I mean, because I had been waiting for such a long time, for me at least.
A lot of people in this country believe that Natasha Jonas won that night, and it should be Natasha Jonas versus Katharina Thanderz. Did you watch the fight, and who do you believe won this fight?
Yeah, I did watch the fight, and I was one of the people that actually, when I was interviewed and things like that, I was telling everybody that I thought that they were underestimating her a lot, because I've always thought that she's a great boxer, and that is what we saw when she fought Terri Harper. I don't think it was like a huge robbery, but I did have her winning the fight by maybe one round. So I'm agree with you. Yeah, well, I don't know what you said, but I think Natasha Jonas won the fight by maybe one round or so.
Yeah, I had her by 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I interviewed Natasha a few weeks ago, and we discussed yourself. She quoted that she has the utmost respect for you and wishes you the best of luck for this fight, but she believes that because they underestimated her and saw her potential, that they kind of avoided to fight her in the rematch and went on to the next opponent. What I want to know is, if you end up winning this fight, would you be willing to give Natasha Jonas a chance if the opportunity came?
Yes, of course I would. I what I always tell people is that I'm not interested in. Well, of course, everybody's interested in winning belts and all that kind of thing. But for me, what is most important is to meet the best, to meet the best female boxers. And I think it's a mistake to avoid the people that you think can be a risk for you. I don't think that's a mindset of a champion. So and that's actually one of the things I really like about Katie Taylor. I mean, she just says yes to everybody and she fights whoever. And I like that. I think it should be like that. And okay, if you have to lose one day, then you will lose against the best, or you will lose because you maybe had one day that you were not as good as you are normally. But I think it's a huge mistake to avoid certain athletes because you think they might be a problem for you. That's not the right mindset, and I just think it's wrong for the sport in general. And it happens a lot in boxing, and I think that's a little bit sad. We say this, we see these made up careers of boxers that they make the path for them to reach the glory, and then they don't really meet the best, and I don't like that. So of course I would give her the opportunity, yeah, and no doubt about it. Then we will see what happens. I don't know how much time I will stay in the super featherweight, if I'll stay for a time more, if I will try to move up in weight. I'm a quite big girl to be in the super featherweight division, and it's every time harder and harder with the time to go down to the weight. I can do it still, but it requires many weeks of really strict diet and a lot of attention put into the weight.
I can imagine. If you're a natural lightweight, to go down one weight class, it must be really hard to maintain that.
Yeah.
What I want to know is just a little bit about Terri Harper. Do you know much about her, and what do you see any weaknesses in her style of boxing?
Actually, to be honest with you, I like to study more her strong sides more than her weaknesses.
To avoid them.
To avoid them, yeah. Or to be prepared for them. And I think I think she has many strong sides. She's fast, she's light on her feet, She has a good jab. She has a good jab, and she knows how to use it, because sometimes you have boxers that has the great physique and they have long arms, but they don't really know how to use it, and I think she is good at it. She's a good counter puncher. She knows to be patient and to wait for the good moment. And then, I mean, you know, in the fight with Natasha Jonas, I did think that she proved that she's also a warrior, you know, that she can manage to be in a difficult situation and don't quit. And I respect that. I like that. So that's also, I think that's also a strong side that she has. Weaknesses, I mean, we all have weaknesses. I think it's about knowing about them and being able to take advantage of the situation when you have it just in front of you, and yeah, that's where you have to show your skills. And yeah, well, I think she has weaknesses, you know, as everybody. She receives punches that she could avoid maybe at certain times, you know, for example. And Natasha Jonas was very good at seeing those moments. And I think Eva Wahlström also. I mean, Eva Wahlström hit her with some serious shots during the whole fight. And I'm not agree with the scorecards at all. I think it was a very close fight, actually, between Terri Harper and Eva Wahlström. So, you know, she has her openings and she has her weak points, as we all have, of course.
Of course. What I want to know about that fight is what's your mindset about the no crowds? There's not going to be no one there. You're so used to fighting in front of a crowd. Is there any way you can prepare for that in camp, or you just have to go ahead with it and just focus on the fight?
To be honest with you, I don't think it will be a problem for me, because I think one of my strong sides is that I have a very high concentration level in all my fights. So I'm very focused, and I don't think I will be even thinking about it. And actually, I think it's a good thing for me in this case, because I mean, you know, for the judges, I think they will have a more neutral opinion about the fight. They will not be affected about the crowd, because if there would have been a crowd, it would have been 90% her crowd screaming her name. And you know, the judges can be
Affected by that.
affected by that.
Influenced, yeah.
Influenced, yes. So so actually, I look at it as a good thing for me.
Of course. What I want to know is, as well, that same night, you mentioned Katie Taylor, but there's another person that's fighting that night. It's an ex-opponent of yours. It's the person that you gave her first and only loss in her career, and that's Rachel Ball. She's fighting Ebenie Bridges for the WBA bantamweight title. What I want to know is, are you surprised that she's come all this way since the loss from you? She's gone on to win and made a big statement by beating Shannon Courtney, who was the favorite for that fight, and now she's getting a world title fight.
If I'm surprised, no. I think she's been, you know, very disciplined all the way after the fight. She kept on training, and that's what you have to do. I mean, a loss it can't define you, you know. So I think a real champion, if you have a loss, you just have to keep on working and getting better, and I think that she has done that. So, you know, she has my full respect and admiration, and you know, I wish her the best. I think it will be a very interesting fight as well, because I think she will meet a very good fighter, Ebenie Bridges. I think she's also a very good fighter, so it will be interesting to see who gets the win.
Yeah, this fight is considered the puncher versus the boxer. Ebenie Bridges is known for having an amazing boxing skills, and but then it's Rachel's height advantage and reach advantage, and she can hit really hard. Do you have a prediction for this fight?
I think it's really difficult.
It is. It's a 50-50 fight.
Yeah, I think it's a 50-50 fight. Absolutely. Yeah.
Before I let you go, I want to know is we as boxers, you should never overlook your opponent. But by beating Terri Harper, what would be next for you that you, in your mindset, what you would like? Would you want to face maybe the winner at super featherweight between Ebenie and Rachel? Give maybe Rachel the rematch, or would you go to lightweight and go face the best there is, which is Katie Taylor?
Oh, I mean, if she would want the rematch, I would give it to her tomorrow. That's something that I would give her without thinking about it. But I don't know if she wants to go that much up in weight, because I think she has a huge advantage in the weight division that she's capable of making now. But you know, if she would want to fight me again, that would not be a problem for me.
What about Katie Taylor?
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to fight Katie Taylor? I mean, yes, of course, it's an honor to share the ring with such a great boxer as her. So absolutely, yeah.
I hope that fight does happen for you. That'll be an amazing opportunity for yourself. And I hope when it does happen, it'll be in front of a crowd, because it deserves to have a crowd, and in a big stadium. You two can end up making history and be the first women's world title fight in a massive stadium. And we wish you all the best for the 14th of November. And we hope that all the success in your whole career as well.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
No, thank you for taking your time, and good luck on the 14th.
Thank you. See you soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.